Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me on this evening. I'm excited about you coming. Thank you for joining me on this evening. Thank you. I am looking for your comments. There you go. Hello there. How are you, Veronica? Thank you, Veronica, for joining me on this evening. I am also going to be on Clubhouse. Those of you who are on Clubhouse, join me on Clubhouse. I'm excited about being with you. Hello, Jennifer. How are you? I know it's been a while. I'm trying to get back on, get my schedule back on where I can be with you all. I think about you all the time and I definitely miss you guys. Hello there. How are you? Hello there, Pastor Kathy.
Hey, mommy.
How are you? Glad to have you on, Trisha. Hello, Trisha. We are going to be talking about what they wanted to talk about tonight was we're going to be dealing with narcissism. Hello, Sherry. We're dealing with narcissism again, and we're going to be talking about a narcissist with a narcissist and being around a narcissist family. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us on today. And it's going to be excited what we talk about today. And it's going to be an interesting conversation. It may be quite an intense conversation, but it's going to be good. Hello there, uniquely made. How are you? Thank you for joining us on today. We are also on Clubhouse. And thank you so much for Prophetess Linda for joining us, Tanya, Danielle, which is my moderator. She is my moderator. Excuse me. She is my moderator on YouTube and my moderator up on Clubhouse. So let's talk about it. Let's begin to talk about it. I had Geechee77 say, would you please talk about a narcissist with a narcissist? How can we know this or raised up with a family of narcissists? Many of you were raised up with family of narcissists. And when you got a narcissist with a narcissist, like your mother probably was a narcissist and the father was a narcissist. And what happened when you have a mother and father that is narcissist, two narcissists together will always have a vulnerable narcissist and a master narcissist. The master narcissist is more, they are not covert. The covert is the vulnerable narcissist. The master narcissist is more malignant and they are more, how can you say, um they are very, very, very boisterous, and this boisterous narcissist always dominate the covert or the lesser narcissist, and the lesser narcissist will always look for a dominant narcissist. Most narcissists that are lesser narcissists that want to be really tortured in a relationship will always look for a dominant force. And many of you have been around narcissists and their families, and you have seen that you married the narcissist who probably had a family that was a narcissist. Some of you, unfortunately, was with a narcissist family where the mother and the father was the narcissist, and the mother was the vulnerable. When you have a vulnerable narcissist, the vulnerable narcissist is very dangerous because the vulnerable narcissist will mistreat their children for the narcissist, the dominant narcissist or the malignant narcissist. And when they mistreat their children for the dominant narcissist, they try to win the pleasure of the narcissist. Now, whoever the narcissist favor as the golden child, the weaker narcissist or the dominant or subservient narcissist is going to also favor that child. Whatever the dominant narcissist want, that's what they get. Now, the dominant narcissist is very hard on the mind when you have a lesser narcissist because it's the fallout of the whole family. The whole family goes under siege. And if you grew up in the home of a narcissist, you knew that your family went under siege. You tried to get the love of your mom, and no matter what, when dad came home, if he was the narcissist, or when mom came home, she was the narcissist, then the children got neglected. All the attention went to the dominant narcissist. And the dominant narcissist didn't care anything about the children. They didn't care anything unless the narcissist had a favorite. And the narcissist, the lesser narcissist, was good with the kids as long as the dominant narcissist wasn't there. And what I mean with good with the kids, they would show them some attention. They would make sure they were fed. They would make sure they were bathed. They would make sure they were clean. And then when the narcissist come, it's like everything fell apart. The subservient narcissist would also fall apart under the control of the dominant narcissist. Now, we have some people here on Clubhouse, and I don't know, I know Betty knows about what I'm talking about. And some of you who have been in relationships with a dominant force, or you have families and you have seen the dominant force of a narcissist, make sure you mute your mic. There you go. Betty, mute your mic. There you go. And so when you are around a dominant narcissist, especially if they are triangulating and their subservient narcissist is at the house, but they are a dominant narcissist, usually they are more forceful in their triangulation. They're more dominant, more malignant in their triangulation because the subservient narcissist pulls so much on the dominant narcissist until they force out of them the evil that they are, the aggression. They want the aggression because they want the overture of that dominant force on them. They want the oppression. And it's unfortunate, and many of you have seen where maybe your mom that was under a dominant narcissist, but she was subservient. She caved in, and you would think, why don't she say something? Why don't she talk back? Or why don't she tell him no? Why don't she tell him he don't like that she don't like it? Instead, she caved in and she would run to the children and she would talk to the children as an escape pod, or she would talk to a family member as an escape pod. Hello, Karen. How are you? Thank you for joining me all the way from Hawaii. Thank you so much. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about when you meet a narcissist and the narcissist is triangulating and you are under suspicion, but you don't have any proof. And usually when a man cheat, a woman get this intuitiveness about her, and he may have the wife at home who may be a subservient narcissist, a covert narcissist, and he comes out, and when he comes out, he's like a madman, or she's like a madman. It's like all of this built up aggression, all of this built up energy comes out, and they are not usually so together. And so when the narcissist is like this, they usually don't do the platinum love bombing. They go to the bronze love bombing, or they go to the silver love bombing, because the lesser narcissist is pulling so much energy out of them, at the house, because that lesser narcissist need all of that negative energy. They need all of that negative attention. And so that aggressive narcissist wants to get away from that. And so when they're triangulating, they give them the silver love bombing, enough love bombing where they can get the attention, and they want all the attention. They are usually very jealous when they're triangulating. They are very, very, very dominant when they're isolating. They want total control, and you may just have met them and they start exercising control. So Betty, have you ever had where the narcissist was so domineering until it didn't really make any sense. And we have Christy here. She said the lesser narcissist is draining the upper narcissist. Absolutely. So that's why they go out. They go out as an escape so they can re-energize. Yeah, so they can re-energize because he knows that he has to keep control of that lesser narcissist, and he knows that he's dominating, but it's costing him everything. So he goes out to triangulate. He has an affair with a woman, and usually this woman that he has an affair with is just as weak as what he has at home, but he has more control. She don't pull on him as much because he dominate her like he wants her dominated. He wants her quiet. He wants her not moving. He wants her not doing. So he puts down the hammer of control more so on the triangulation than he does at the one at home. Have you ever experienced that, Betty?
I don't think I've never experienced that. I've never experienced that at all.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, that's the dominating narcissist. And Gitchy 77 says, what happens when you have two narcissists? And have which of you have ever been raised up, Orchard, aloha to you also, have been raised in the home with a narcissist parent? If you've been raised in a home with a narcissist parent, or you've been around an auntie or uncle that was really aggressive, uniquely made said, my father was a malignant psychopath, woo, narcissist. She said, my mother was groomed as a lesser narcissist. Okay, then you know what I'm talking about. And Christy said, missed the home and end up getting discarded. Wow. And see, what happened is usually kids who have two narcissists. Now, if you think that's weird, check this out. Usually two narcissists end up producing a narcissist one and empaths. Empaths come out of narcissistic homes. You would think just the opposite. If there's more than the kid, she said, my mother was a covert narcissist. This Shan Lee. And you know what, Shan Lee? Very subservient, but those covert narcissists, they're undercover. They're usually sneaky. If it's one person, they get all the attention, and they use sob stories, sad stories to make sure they get the attention. Usually these are the ones that use undercurrent. Every time you turn around, they got a sad story. Something happened to them. Their mom didn't treat them right. Their husband don't love them like they should. This is a covert narcissist. The covert narcissists live off the plague syndrome. What do we mean by the plague syndrome? It's what it usually keep people away, but it'll draw people to you too. And so what they do is they use sympathy. They use sorrow. They use every kind of story that they can find that will turn your attention toward them. Listen to Erin. Erin said, good to see you again. Thank you so much. She said, my parents are narcissists. She said, and controlling. She said, they keep me and the kids like a state. Woo. She said, and I cannot trust them. And many times I was the scapegoat. And see, let me tell you about the scapegoat. The scapegoat, the narcissists hate because the scapegoat is they are very outward. They are very, they're going to tell the truth. They are very vocal, and the scapegoat is going to tell it like it is because they have nothing to lose. And usually the scapegoat keep getting beaten and beaten and beaten because when the narcissists go to the scapegoat won't pat them. The scapegoat is going to tell the truth. So the narcissist hates the scapegoat. The narcissists don't love anyone. They don't love any of their kids, but they treat them different according to how they show them attention. And the scapegoat usually don't show them attention because they keep getting rejected. So rather than to be rejected, they stay away, and they're very vocal. They vocalize the truth. They say what they mean, and they will rather take the pain. So how many of you know anything about being the scapegoat of the family? She said, they told my school I was a problem child. This is Christy, by her narcissist parent. She said, what's weird is I don't think I had a narcissist family. She said, but my relationship has been with narcissist type men, and I am an empath for sure. And see what happened. That is a terrible relationship. An empath and a narcissist together is poison. An empath and a narcissist together is poison. It is never good for an empath to be with a narcissist, because the empath is going to carry that narcissist. The empath is going to carry the weight of that narcissist, especially an unlearned empath or a growing empath who's still figuring out who they are, who's still figuring out that they can discern what they bring to them. And most empaths that have not learned how to block out all of the background noise usually absorb everything. They take the responsibility for anything that happened, and the narcissist makes sure they load them down with emotions and responsibility until they break the empath. And when the narcissists break the empath, then they secure the empath. No matter how they discard them, no matter how they leave them, how they ghost them, the empath will be right there. But when that empath begin to grow and know who they are and start to discern and stop taking responsibility, they grow. The super empath is a mature empath. They grown. They done been through some things. They done been through with narcissists. And the only person can handle a super empath is an ultra or greater narcissist, because a super empath would just shrink out a mid narcissist or low ranking narcissist. They would get bored and they would leave. But an empath, a young empath with a narcissist, that's a sour grape. That's a sour trip, because the narcissist will put so much pressure on their mind that most empaths feel like they're losing their mind. They can become suicidal with the narcissist because they're taking responsibility and feel like they can't help the narcissist, and then they start thinking everything is their fault. And the narcissist who played the blame game and gaslighting blames the empath for everything, and the empath take what the narcissist say and believe it, and the empath will break. A wounded empath can also be dangerous because they can turn evil. They can just shut their emotions off and just don't care until the point where you won't even know that they are empath. But most empaths, before they do that, they will break. They will end up in an institution. They will end up on medication. And most narcissists know that. A young empath with a greater narcissist is dangerous. I mean, it's almost suicidal. It's no good. And listen what Orchard say. She said, I was always a question. And she's a curious, mischievous kid, but also followed rules and wanted to please and felt blame for a lot. She said, just my natural tendency. She said, and I became a nurse and I prayed for Jesus' help. And you know what? Thank God he helped you. Amen. So those of you who are dealing even with a child that may be involved in a narcissist relationship. And narcissism is on the rise. And I think the reason it's on the rise is really being exposed, because a lot of people since I say about 4 years ago, are now coming to grips what real narcissism is, because they saw it first. They seen it firsthand. And when they saw it firsthand, they saw what it was to be in the grips of a narcissist, will be around people who don't care, people who have no emotions, people who can't feel, people who have no sympathy, people who have no empathy, people who show no mercy and have no conscience toward that. She says, sorry to hear that. You know, narcissists have no conscience when they do wrong. As a matter of fact, they blame when something happened. They never take responsibility. It's always somebody else's fault. And that's why issues with a narcissist never get resolved, because they never take responsibility for what they do. They're going to always look to blame somebody in the relationship or outside of the relationship, because a narcissist refuse to look at themselves. Because remember the traits of a narcissist, one of them is grandiosity. They feel entitled, they feel privileged, they feel like everything is owed to them, they feel like everything should be given to them, all attention should be on them. They want to replace the God of your life. And what happens is, when you are with a narcissist, especially Christians, I want want to talk to Christians because what happened, ooh, professional victim. That's really good right there. I like that. And that's what a narcissist want. A narcissist like a professional victim, or a covert becomes a professional victim. And see, what happens is when the narcissist into your life, it doesn't matter how you negotiate the terms, how you work out the terms. Narcissists never go under negotiable terms. When the narcissists agree to negotiable terms, they usually got a back door that they're going through. They're going to hack somewhere, and they're never going to agree with your term. That's why you can't co-parent with a narcissist, because they're going to break all of the rules. They're going to violate all of your boundaries. They don't respect boundaries. They don't care about boundaries. They live outside of the scope of reality. They live in an alternate world, and the world you are in is not the world the narcissist is in. And this is why you can talk with a narcissist and you are trying to negotiate an argument, and the narcissist is somewhere else, talking somewhere else, and you almost looking at them wondering, what world are they in? They're not in your world. That's what the narcissist does. They're out of the reality world. They're out of the realm of truth, and they don't like truth. Veronica said they want something she said they want something all promises and fact. She said they are energy vampires. They are fake. You know, it's amazing to me how people in relationship with narcissists, and we've had people that been in relationship for 15 years, 20 years, and then I think we had the longest standing one I had as a woman who was in a relationship for 50 years with a narcissist, and in the 51st year she ended up divorcing him because he did not change. The older the narcissists get, the more horrific they get, and the more stuck they are in their ways. They have settled in their ways because they refuse to change. And if you don't change, so you basically, to stay with a narcissist, have to give up your life. You're giving up your life. You're giving up your dreams, because they can intercept your dreams at every time. And when you live a life of misery all the time, your hopes and your dreams go to waste, and usually you lose yourself and you become a shell operating in a relationship, or a shell operating in a house, and you're just there, and the narcissist has trained you to put up with what they're putting out to keep their relationship. Plus size grandmom says, my church mom, narc, uses every word against me that I say. She says, so what I got to say, and shut the conversation down. She said, I don't answer back for the point and go about my business. That must be a horrible church service to have a mother like that in the church. Thank you. She said, you are great at explaining. Thank you so much. But many of you are wondering what's going on, especially if you were an empath and you was growing up in a home with a narcissist of unfairness and you took responsibility. Usually you were the Cinderella of the family. They put all the weight of the responsibility on you while the golden child got away. They made sure every day you knew that you were nothing, because that narcissist needed the negative energy. Remember, narcissists need negative energy and they need positive energy. They need the negative energy because they got these big holes on the inside of them that they cannot feel. They don't feel love, and so that's why they look for love. That's why they're triangulated. That's why they're having all these affairs. They're always looking for someone to love them, and they could be married to someone that loved them, and they will go and triangulate and tell that new supply that nobody loves them, nobody care for them. Why? Because their inability to love make them unable to receive love. And when they are introduced to that love bombing and that new specimen or that new supply make them feel like $1,000,000. So for that time, before they realize that new specimen's humanity, they feel whole again. They feel happy again. That's why they're so happy. That's why you get love bombed, because you make the narcissist feel like $1,000,000,000. Because for the first time, each time is the first time when they get a new supply, they feel whole. They feel love. loved, they feel cared for. And then when your humanity come in, it reminds them of their holes. And then they start to discard, devaluate, they start to gaslight, they start to ghost you because now you have brought them to their reality. And most narcissists will not live in their reality world. And that's why children that grows up with narcissists is usually under the care of a psychiatrist or under the care of a therapist because their world is all mixed up, because that alternate world that comes into play is not the world they live in or the world they go to school in. And so parents can really mess up a child. Do we have any volunteers on Clubhouse who would want to say something about that? Who would want to say something about this topic? You guys are real quiet today.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay, so I would say something about the like when you said the empath. I'm not I always sound like an empath and a scapegoat because I was the child that confronts all the time, and I was the one that always would speak up and not let anything go and try to put things back together. And that's why I said the older I got, I mean, then like I always care for people. I care for people, but I didn't let people do anything to me, and I would speak up. So I was that child. My mom had I guess my sister, she catered to my baby sister more than she catered to me because she'll say that I will be disrespectful. I wouldn't be disrespectful, but if she did something to me, if she did something to me that was not right and didn't do it to my sister, I would be the one who speak up. I had six of us, and she gave everybody something for Christmas except for me. And then when I would ask her, what did you, she said, well, I gave you this, but it was a table set for my, with my sister, my baby sister, but when I would go and play with it, she would say that it wasn't for me. And then I was like, well, what did you give me? And then she'll say, you're so disrespectful. You just talk back all the time. I'm not talking back. I just wanted to know, what did you give me? If the table set and the tea set and because she bought one doll, and she wouldn't tell me who was it for, because after I told her, what you buy me, if this is for her, then where's mine? Everybody got their toys except for me. So she would call me disrespectful. But I would be the one, the child. So I'm the scapegoat. I would be the scapegoat, the one who talk out and all the time. So that's what I would say about being a scapegoat.
Yeah, the scapegoat is a very forceful child. They are a very black and white. They're black and white. They don't care because they're being abused anyway, so they don't have anything to lose. Yes, Trisha.
Hi, Apostle.
Hello, baby girl. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for this platform tonight.
You are so welcome. But check this out. My plus size grandmama says sounds like her family. Go ahead, Trisha.
I just wanted to say everything that you're saying tonight is just good information, and you're just on the money with everything that you're saying tonight. I guess I was thinking about when you were saying about the empath. Now, the empath, is that the other person that the narc is dealing with?
Yeah, the narcissist love the empath because the empath take responsibility for the narcissist.
Okay.
Yeah, and the empath absorb everything. They absorb the responsibility. They absorb all of their negative energy because they feel responsible for the narcissist's life until they grow up.
Oh, okay. That's that's why you were hitting on the parents.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And you can,
Okay.
and when a child come out of a parent's home of a narcissist, what happened is that child is a magnet. That child is a frequency. The frequency on that child is to draw another narcissist, or if it's a narcissist, to draw an empath, because that's what the narcissists look for. The narcissists want empaths.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they purposefully look for them.
And that is so true what you said too. They just never take responsibility for their behavior.
Exactly.
That's the part that just irritates me. They will just blame everyone for their behavior. And that is just so irritating to me. That's the part that I just can't get past. It's like they will never admit to their faults.
They will not. They will not admit to their
And I
fault.
and that's the part I just can't get past. They're just hard people to deal with. Even when you know what you're dealing with and you just try to keep a relationship with them because it could be a family member or whoever it may be. But after a while, it's like, because as you know, I do have a family member that's a narcissist. And it's like, after a while, I just can't no more. It's just,
They will
it's too
all.
draining for me.
It will, and you know what? It will always be a disturbance as long as they are there. Listen to Christina. Christina is saying, yes, Betty, Christmas was a setup. She said, I hated it. She said, when I told everyone not to get me anything, I was then called selfish because I didn't want to exchange gift. No one calls me. And sometimes you say that because you know you're going to be disappointed. And listen to Miss Henry. She said, I was the one that got spanked, always triangulated with my sister, narc by my mom. She said, mother told me all the suitors that my sisters would be better. She said, mom always competed with me. That is terrible to have a mother that compete with you. And it's just like you were saying, Trisha, when you have a family that is a narc, you can expect some dissensions. You can expect some disturbance. If you are having an outing, there's something going to happen because they cannot live without negativity. It's like the whole house is at peace and boom, there they go.
Yes, they will come in and just suck energy out of the room real quick.
And see, and this is why one of the girls here was calling them energy vampires. Hello, Hakar, how are you? She said they all admit their faults. She said, but only because they want something. She said, and as soon as they get what they want, she said they return to the victim. And then we have Hakar said, my mother has shown that she is going to sabotage, that she will sabotage her relationship. This is a mother and a daughter. And unfortunately, a mother will compete with a daughter. A son will compete with a dad. They will have each other's girlfriends. Nothing is off limits with a narcissist. A narcissist does not stop until they drive a stake in your heart. And unfortunately, that's unfortunate. They need that kind of negative energy, but that's why you have to know who you are to keep from getting frustrated. And if you just a visitor like you, Trish, you say they were in your family, and if you don't even live with one, can you imagine living with one 24 hours, 24/7, every day of the week, and every day you trying to explain something, you cook something, they like the Wednesday, it's Friday, they hate it. And then they look at you and you catch them looking at you and they look at you like they hate you. And you're going to bed with this person, you're sleeping with this person, you're serving this person, you're loving this person. And then every now and then you catch that narcissistic stare and they're looking through your soul with such hatred. And you wonder, how can you live with me if you hate me based on what I'm seeing in your eyes?
Yes, it's a stare To me, it's a stupid stare.
Uh-huh.
It's a look like what?
Exactly.
And they just look at, they just stare.
Exactly.
But to me, it's like a stupid stare, like, oh, I can't explain it, but that look, oh my God.
And that's the narcissistic stare. And listen to this. This is Miss Hendrick. She said, I got such revelation from these teachings. She said, I was the adult since I was 12 years old. My body will hurt. And she said, I was at loss of breath almost when I was around the narc and family until I found out the truth. She said being around them took her breath away. It was almost like a panic attack that she would have when you are around the narcissist. Have you ever experienced that, Trish, where there was just this apprehension with you being around them?
Yes. Yeah, I could feel that spirit. Yes, because I'm saved, you could feel that spirit. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just pull out my oil, plead the blood of Jesus. I could feel that spirit. Yes.
See.
Don't feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Just know something is lurking. And then always being around them too, knowing, okay, what's getting ready to pop off next.
See,
because something is getting ready to. They got to perk up something. They don't like peace. They do not like peace.
No, they don't. It's tormenting to them because they can think about themselves.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't like it because they think about themselves. And when you think you have a hole, when you think you don't, you're looking for love, and you can't love, but you're looking for it. You don't even know what you're looking for. So the narcissists think of feeling or caving in is love because they don't know love and they don't experience love. How can they know what love is? And listen to this. Grandmother JJ said, yes, my narcissist mom, she said, would be jealous if you excel in life. She said, Mom saw my new house that I had built and devalued everything about it with a sneer. And Pink K said, yes, definitely are energy vampires. She said, once I learned about the narcissism, I realized that I've been surrounded by them in my family, co-workers, managers, constantly walking on eggshells. And see, what happens is narcissists will have you so nervous until most people end up on volumes because they don't know whether to run, they don't know whether to sit, they don't know whether to freeze because it's like you said, Trish, some could pop off at any moment.
Right.
And see, you never know the conditions or the atmosphere, what's going to be in the atmosphere. Because you got to remember, the narcissists act bipolar. They can change at a second. Like they like something on Monday, they'll tell you Wednesday. They raved over it over Monday. But Wednesday, they telling you how they hated it. And they never loved it. And you know that's not what they said.
Right, because they lie. They're liars.
They're avid liars. They're habitual liars. They live on lies. They live on deception. These dark creatures, they call them creatures, they live on darkness. They live on negativity. And if they live on negativity, they begin to suck the life out of you. And I think, who was that said that they are vampires? They suck the life out of you, and they get angry when you succeed. They get angry when it look like you're doing good. Christy say, I see their actions in my life now, and that I'm retired. I just think they don't work. She said, they made my life a living hell. Yeah. And see, I think a lot of people don't understand what a narcissist is. And what happens is, we got Linda, praise the Lord, Prophet Linda. Come on up.
Friends, Apostle. Apostle. How are you?
Wonderful. What do you have to say?
Good. I just have a question.
Sure.
I've been following your teachings on narcissistic people, character, behaviors, and you have allowed us to identify what a narcissist is, their behavior, their actions, the manifestation of a narcissist. And so my question would be, those that are dealing with the narcissistic behaviors or personalities, what is our posture on the other side? How do we respond? Are there boundaries that we create? How do you protect yourself from being abused and just kind of absorbed with that spirit and that behavior? I know we're supposed to pray and we plead the blood and we continue to pray and bombard heaven, but I know that when you have a family member, not maybe necessarily living in your home, but someone that you love or attached to your family, what is the posture that should be taken for those of us that are on the other side of that? And again, we've identified it. We know what we're dealing with. We know the spirit that's operating. We've been taught and showed us. And what is the posture that we should take?
The posture you should take is you have to build your mind. You have to build up the defense system, because you can't have boundaries because they don't respect boundaries. And if you put up a boundary, they will somehow go against it. Somehow, some way, they're going to end up going against it. The best thing I do is when I go around my family that are narcissistic, and I have to be there. Other than that, I don't be there. And if I have to be there, I strengthen my mind. I guard my words. I guard my ears. And if it gets too intense, I'm out of there, because I don't have to stay here. You have to stay here because you're married to them. Well, I'm not married to them, so I'm not going to stay here. And so, yeah, and so what you have to do is build words. When they go negative, you go positive. When they go negative, you go positive. And sometimes when you do that, it even agitate them because there's no win. And a narcissist will leave a place where they don't feel like they're win. They will leave that place because they would rather feel like they left it for you not to win it than to lose it and you win it.
Wow. Thank you, Apostle.
Absolutely. And I was listening to Christina. She was saying how her mom did her. Her mom would compete against her and then blame her for different things. And then her question in the end, she's like, who does that to their child? Isn't that something?
Yes. It's definitely something.
Yeah.
We have to, it's like my mom, I can't say she was. I think that it's the traits that I hear now with, I think she was bipolar, because she used to play me and my sisters against each other. If we all, when I come in the room, she'll talk about my big sisters. Then if I leave out, she'll talk about me. And then she'll tell us different lies. She had the whole house in an uproar. But I'm just learning now, just listening to you now, that it's possible that she had those traits. And what I do now, because those traits are still in the family. So even with children, so what I do, you have to, like you say, you have to be strong in your mind, and you have to gray rock them, and don't give them give them 1 and 2 words to speak, and hurry up and get out of their face, because you have to still, even though it might be your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, you still, other than a lover, you still have to go no contact with them, because there's no way.
Absolutely.
If you be nice to them, they still don't like you. If you be mean to them, they like you, but then they'll fight back, and that's what they want. They like that energy.
Yeah.
More back the more negative you fight with them, they're gonna fight with you, and they'll be saying, "Yeah, that's what I want." And then when you be nice to them, like you say, they're gonna leave because they can't handle positive things. They like chaos. They work their best in chaos. That's why they always trying to upset you and trying to shock you and to put you back, like that supposed to like put you back in your place. The best thing to do is go no contact. Know that you love them, because you cannot love a person who does not have a bottom to them. They are an open pit. They don't have nothing. Just fall down. Every word you give them, every love, you can give them ice cream. They want this. You just got to not, no contact. That's the best thing. No contact.
Absolutely. Listen to this right here. This is Pink K. She said, I lost my job of 17 years because I was emotionally broke down from being gaslighted and shift blamed from a narcissist. She lost her job of 17 years. A few more years, she could have just retired. But she lost her job of 17 years because of gaslighting and shift blaming. And just like Betty was saying, they like that. Christina was saying that's what her mom did with her sister. She would pit them one against another and make them compete one against another. And see, narcissistic mom break character, they break personality, they break minds. A broken mind exhausts lives. A broken mind exhausts lives. And you can tell when your mind is broken because your brain is tired. You're tired. And what the narcissist does, they fight you till they get the fight out of you. They will fight the fight out of you. And when you don't fight, that's when the biggest fight comes, when you lose the will to fight. Because they must have you broken down, because that's the way they see themselves. You want to know how the narcissists see themselves? The way they treat you. That's how they see themselves. They have to have negativity because of these holes, these big sinkholes, like Betty was saying. They're bottomless pits. It doesn't matter how you put in there. You can love them. You can give them everything they want. You can make them feel good. And right after that, they back to the hatred zone. Sherry, what do you have to say about that?
First of all, I'm loving this so much. I'm learning so much. And I've had to grow up in this as well, not knowing when you come home from school what you're going to get, not knowing when you wake up what you're going to get. If they were happy about this 1 second and the next second, they're wondering why you did that. And it's a miserable way to live, of living on eggshell. And I eggshells, and I can see how I've had to deal with that throughout life. But I love something that you said in the very beginning, was that
Kathy,
it's about our identity.
what was the name of that movie with Sally Fields?
Use them to steal our voice, to steal who we are.
With those different personalities.
So that we don't walk into our destiny.
Sybil. Was it Sybil?
And essence of who God
Sybil
has made us. And dealing with our identity and rising up and knowing who we are, to get that mental fortitude to stand up to how we need to stand up, because we can't do it alone. It's a very hard place to be in. And the thing about it is that the narcissist is counting on you to keep it a secret. They're counting on you not to share what's happening with you, because they have put up this persona in front of people. But when those people leave, that they wanted this great grandiose picture in front of, when they leave, then they return to who they are. And it's to destroy you, because like what you just said, it's how they see themselves. And they don't realize that, a lot of times they don't realize that's what they're doing. They're projecting what they're going through, how they see themselves. But it's destroying you. But it's what the enemy is after. He's after your fruit. He's after your destiny. He's after who you are. And you have to you have to be awakened to that, as well as the fact that you are somebody to Jesus. You are important to him. Your voice matters to him. Your voice matters, and the enemy is trying to snuff it out. From a kid on up, trying to snuff it out. And I just love this. Thank you.
Yep. And it's amazing. Veronica says like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And then Aaron said, they can give criticism, but they can't take criticism. If you want to criticize a narcissist, you better be ready for the fallout, because they are hostile in the most pungent way. And I mean, they fight with everything in them. They can't take it. They can't take your hostility. They can't even take your rejection. When you reject a narcissist, they can't take it, because the narcissists feel that they are irresistible, that whatever they want, they should be able to get it, because they feel this sense of grandiosity. So when you reject them and you say, I've had enough, I don't want this, all hell break loose in the house. And some narcissists, it has been told that even the conditions, the temperature in the house changed. It either got really hot or it got really cold, and it was a summer day and it was iced. And then that's when that narcissistic stare come. And this narcissistic stare, when they look at you, it almost go through your bones. There are several kinds of stare that the narcissist does. It does the mesmerizing stare. It does the sexual allurement stare. It does the stare that you're crazy. And then they do the stare like, I hate you. And all of those different stares are so intense until it can be environmental. And some of you have even got it from your mom. It's scary when you live with someone that does that. Veronica said, I have been through hell and high water with my son's father. She said, the narcissist. She said, I'm just so thankful that I'm still alive and still have my mind. We are thankful too. She said, at home, I had to leave. Christy said she had to leave home when she was 15 years old. She couldn't take it. It's something when you know that the person that you're living with, or a family member, and they are malignant to the core, and you see your family member waste away trying to make it work, when you know in your heart it will never work, but you can't tell them that, because they got an investment, especially when there's children. When there's children, it can be hard. It can be very difficult. And I know that sometimes we want to do something and say something, but sometimes we have to stand back and pray and let them figure it out, because that emotion, if they don't go through the emotion to make decisions for them, usually when they leave, they would just come back, and it will always get worse, because they feel like there's one more thing that I could have done. Haku said, my mom did not prepare me for adulthood. She wanted me to stay home. And Jay Desmond said, not having a good night, can't sleep well, gaslight, gasoline shortage. Let me see here. This is Christina. She said she had to have a morning fight if she comes for me. She said, then I know that she didn't fight my dad, and she needs someone else to fight. If she's nice to me, then I know she's fighting with my sister. Boy, that's something that would remind me of Betty, when the sisters are fighting. Like she said, she come in the room. If she's in the room, she talk about her big sister, and then with her big sister in the room, she talks about her. They need chaos. They can't have the peace, because the peace is like an echo in their mind to remind them what's wrong with them. So they disturb everything. And when they disturb you, you don't look so good. Then they don't feel so bad. You don't look, and they'll tell you you're holier than thou. So they'll stir up something to make you angry. They'll stir up an emotion to make you angry. And what they're jealous of your peace. They're jealous that you can sleep. And if you notice, a narcissist usually don't sleep. They don't need a lot of sleep. They got this vagabond spirit. You know, they sleep a couple hours and they up walking and just mincing through the night. They don't need it. Have you noticed that? And here we got Veronica. She said, well, I tell everybody who's thinking about staying with these demons. She said, please, 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 please find a way to get away. Please. Yeah. Haka said, yeah, they use all of your triggers against you. She said, their mind is in constant chaos. Veronica said, yes, ma'am, Apostle Helen, they can't sleep. There are, 66 people that are on right now. And they are all saying the same thing. She said, my mom Facebook friend requested, and I did not respond. Peace is so imperative. Absolutely. Wow. She lives in a $400,000 home and still not satisfied. Veronica said they have no problem sleeping. They have no problem sleeping, no conscience. Most narcissists do not sleep. Most narcissists can stay awake for days and still function. And you got to remember the derivative in which they're functioning with. When you're functioning on an evil force, why would the spirit need sleep? You need rest for your body to be able to work, to do positive things. They sleep because they have a body, but they don't need the sleep that you need, because you have rest and you have peace. Haka said, my ex never slept. She said, and when he did, it was only for 2 hours. That's usually the case. And then they're up moving, they're up in motion, they're up talking, they're up fighting. And the one thing they do, they mar your character. I mean, they mar your character. They do a smear campaign if you want them angry. So what the narcissist does is make sure they get close to everybody that is close to you. And they want to know everybody that knows you. And even if they go behind your back and just befriend them, they want everybody that knows you, because they know that if you make them angry, they're going to launch a smear campaign. Aaron says, my dad tries too hard to try and be best friends with me. She said, I don't trust him. He is controlling and manipulative. She said, plus he's disrespectful, and I had to cut him off because he's too toxic. Christy say, then after dealing with my mother, I married a narcissist man. I know that was the frequency. Haka said he would call at 2 a.m. and harass me to 7 a.m. in the morning, knowing that I had to go to work. And he would go to sleep a good while I was working, just to fight with her. And Claude said, my father is an overt narcissist. Ooh. And it was so hard in life growing up with him. She said, I met my husband when I was 23 years old, and I thought I had met the greatest man in the world. Oh, most of the people who meet a narcissist think that. When you meet the narcissist, they seem perfect because of the disguise. And you got to remember that when you are talking to a narcissist, they are affecting your hormonal system, the dopamine, all of those things, the oxytocin, all of those things that bond you to that narcissist. The narcissist become a stronghold on your emotional grip and your emotional, your mindset. And they live on that because they don't want your intellect. They want your emotions. And that's what they spend. They get your emotions to tear down your intellect, because with your intellect, you can reason your way out of it. You can come up with a plan out of it. You can come up with strategy. They don't want you to come up with strategy. So they keep you away from your mindset, and they keep you locked into what you feel. And that's why they always try to get a reaction out of you. They'll say something that is totally ludicrous and stupid, and they'll say it just to get their reaction out of you. Because if you're reacting emotionally, you're not thinking with your mind. Does anybody want to comment on that? Nancy, they literally love bombing in the beginning. Absolutely. Karen said, she said, anyone I met, new woman friend, ex would physically get between me and the female friend and try to take over the friendship. She said, smear me if I left the room. Absolutely. Your narcissist want to know everybody that you know. And if you see the narcissist, if you bring a friend, the narcissist is trying to bond with that friend because they need flying monkeys. They need somebody to kill them. They need messengers. And they want to transfer fleas to them. They always want someone to be a second voice to them.
Apostle, can I stop you right there?
Yes.
Oh my God. I witnessed the flying monkeys.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. I guess the narcissist had an injury. I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, the narcissist text everybody in the party. Then I heard people saying, oh, such and such is upset. She needs me. Then all of a sudden, all these people start getting these texts. And they start flying to the narcissist.
Oh, my God.
And I thought about, oh, there's the flying monkeys.
There's the flying monkeys.
Oh, my God. I could not believe it.
Exactly.
It was like a 911 text.
But see, what she needed to do was interrupt the attention. It was going somewhere else and not to her. And so in order to get the attention, she drew all the attention to her and away from wherever it was going. Absolutely. But see, you've witnessed that firsthand. Now, see, and Grandma JJ is saying something that is really surprising. And you know what, Grandma JJ, I can see that. She said, when the narcissist is full of fuel, they sleep well. She said, but once the fuel is slipping, they don't sleep well. And they don't want you to sleep either. Isn't that something? And see, when that person, when she got all of that attention, she got all of that fuel. That was fuel. So she was probably happy in the night. And, you know, she was good because everybody's showing her attention. And guess what? The very next day, she needed the same thing. They needed the same thing.
Yes.
It doesn't last.
Not at all.
No. And it was just like Betty was saying, it's a bottomless pit. It doesn't matter how much you give them, they need more. Christy said, and flying monkeys, I see them and they don't even realize what they are. They just doing their bidding. Christina said, I joke and my mom makes it negative and something about her that turns into a fight from a joke. Jay Desmond says, my oldest sister brewed over her life until she got her own mother sick and waited until she died so she can steal her inheritance, so she can steal my inheritance. She's just another female extension of the narcissist family tree. The narcissist doesn't care. She said, this thing is something else. Of course it is. And see, that's what I'm telling you. When you are dealing with a narcissist family, I think the hardest thing in the world with a person is to let them know that they are with a narcissist. And when the narcissist is 73 years old, they're just going to get better at what they do. And what they're doing to you is going to get stronger and it's going to get more powerful. So the grip they have on you is going to be stronger. And if you're losing your life now, you will have no life when they finish with you. You will be a walking shell with all of your brain matter, heartbeat, stomach, intestines, but no fortitude, no life. You are just a walking zombie. And that person would have triangulate, they will have their life. And if you notice, most narcissists, unless they just get over into the realm of evil and give themselves over, they look young. And most of their counterparts start looking older because they're draining them. and they could be, she could be 60, and he could be 70, and he looks younger than she do, because he's draining all of her energy, he drained all of her goals, and she keep trying to fight for something that would never be. And the reason he's not fighting, because he's triangulating outside, he's having everybody he want when he wants to have them.
Amen. Apostle, may I say something?
Yes.
This is just overwhelming because I'm just thinking about the past, how I grew up with my mom. I left the house at 15 as well. My sister left at 15. My other sister left at 15 because when the older one left, she let the other one, my middle sister, live with her, and she came back and got me because my mom used to always do mean stuff to us. She would say we would never be nothing. And the man's in our life gonna beat us. She treated us really bad, and this is like I never really. I just thought it was dysfunctional. I never put my mom as a narcissist. So, but just listening to this now, that's why I said this is overwhelming just to think that I live with them. And then my sister ended up with, she married a person, a narcissist, and I dealt with, it's like three of the people that was in my life, men's, I dealt with them, and it's like it's really scary to know. It's like I couldn't hardly think. I was like always be scared and nervous around these men's, but it still has some kind of comfort because now I'm thinking it was a comfort because I was used to feeling like that in my own house. And that's why it's overwhelming that I didn't never realize that I thought she was just a little off. I just thought my mom was a little off. She's not, she's not here now, but I never liked her until I got saved. I got saved when I was 31. But just to listen to all of this, it's like I think that she had more traits than I know now. I'm just thinking about how we grew up and how she did different things to her daughters, and my brother she used to treat real nice, and my baby sister she treated like oh my God, she really treated her really nice too, but not the older sisters and brothers. But this is just like wow, I'm trying to take this in because that's why I'm attracted. Was not now. I don't want to be married no more. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm fine with myself now. Just learning who I am and growing and growing to love myself. I have a child that's like kind of act like excuse me. I have those traits, and it's real hard to because I can't. When you know you can't help them. You do live your life. When you hear a phone call, you live your life on eggshells because you never know what's going to happen. But I just thank God for you and your daughter because it helped me to be able to not be taken advantage of anymore. So thank you.
Let me tell you something. I would, my child, I hear what they saying, but I would never let my child go. I will fight tooth and nail. Let me tell you something. I know medically they say that a narcissist can never, ever repent. And that's usually the case, but we have 5 in our church that repented. But it took some strong power. It took some strong prayer. And we have to stay with them because once they get off course, they go back and they're worse than when they came. And it's work on a pastor who deals with a narcissist. So I can tell you it's not impossible, where the medical arena can tell you it is impossible. I have seen firsthand narcissists come to Jesus and repent. and live a life. And it's a different struggle, and that pastor got to work with them, because they'll come and tear up your church if you don't know what you're doing. And you have to be strong. I mean, you have to put it down to them and tell them what they're not going to do, and they're not going to do it, because the narcissist will always push the boundaries. Your son is not in the realm of impossibility, but mom, you're going to have to fight. And I'm telling you, it's a fight. And it's a different kind of fight, because it's a mindset from the root. And that's all they know to be. And 9 times out of 10, that frequency happens somewhere. It released somewhere. And you have to overthrow that frequency, because guess what they're going to do? They're going to meet up with other narcissists that's going to strengthen that frequency. And that's why they're out in the street, gangs out in the street, drug addicts out in the street, fighting out in the street, because they keep strengthening the frequency and they never turn. But God got a divine interruption that can help. And I'm telling you, medical science will disagree with me. But in our church, we don't care what medical science says. We got some evidence. It doesn't happen as a norm, but when God come in there as the abnorm and the unusual, we take it and we use it. And the church they have to be in, the pastor got to be strong in the word and in prayer.
Amen, Apostle.
Yeah. So let's, Christina say, how much truck of holy water did you need for those repentance? She's laughing. Girl, a whole building full, not a truck full. She said, you have to fight in the spirit. This is spiritual. This is absolutely right. And if you go natural, you'll never win it. She's all about, punishing me for finally ending. Anytime you end a relationship, especially if you got a malignant narcissist, it's dangerous. The ending is always dangerous when they're malignant, pathological, or sociological. When these narcissists, because they don't feel anything as it is. And a pathological narcissist can kill and not feel nothing. A malignant narcissist, because they feel that how you gonna oust me and then leave me, and then you're their property. Once you're with a narcissist feel like they own you. But guess what? What families don't realize is the narcissists feel like they own the family. If your family is connected with a narcissist, that narcissist feel like that's their family. They have an orphan spirit, and they will lay hold to that family. If you don't believe it, take your family, get around their family, and show too much attention and watch them activate.
Yes, they get like, yes, Apostle.
Yep.
Because my daughter-in-law got upset because her friend spoke to me when I walked in the room before I spoke to her. Something like that.
Absolutely.
That is so true.
You belong to her. You are her property in her mind. You are just property. Yeah, you're her property, and everything belongs to her. And she may not say it, but if you notice her action, you are her property, and I don't want nobody touching my property.
Oh, gosh. That's part of that control.
It is.
That controlling spirit is so ugly.
Absolutely. Pinky said, I believe they're all dangerous. Veronica said, you're right about, yeah. And listen what Christina says. She says, like hazing. When I would bring a friend over to my parents, talk bad about me, like it's fun love. Is she dirty? Does she not? Watch the dishes. One time I yelled, stop talking about me. And this is Orchard say, amen. And she said, I have panic attack just with the memory of this. I just freeze when I have to deal with him. This is horrific. This is aftermath. She said, I was threatened by my ex-narc several times. She says, it's ridiculous. This is her car. These are different people now. Are y'all listening to this?
That's that trauma, Apostle. I mean, this is traumatic.
It is. It's trauma bonding.
The behavior is traumatizing. It's traumatic.
Exactly. And you know what? The narcissists always feel, even if you leave, you're never free. There have been narcissists that broke in houses. They are married, they done had children, and these narcissists been gone for 5 or 10 years. They break in houses to go get their property.
Oh my God.
They break in that because once you with the narc feel like you're mine. You always are mine. Because a narcissist don't believe that you can break away from them and go anywhere else. That's why we tell people you go NC, you go totally NC. Because the narcissists don't get the picture. They don't even operate in the real world. When you say no contact, it's no contact. No social media, no phone. Don't get a picture of her. Get rid of all the pictures. Get rid of all of that. Disconnect. It's a total disconnect. It's like cutting the phone wire. You cannot make contact.
What about Apostle, like you said, when they find their new supply? Will they leave you alone after they
Of course
find their
not.
new supply?
Of course not.
Oh my.
Of course not.
Okay.
They always come back. They always come back. I had one girl, he was gone for 10 years. He came back like it was the day he left. And it was 10 years. She got a whole life.
Act like nothing happened.
He came back like nothing happened and caused hell with her new husband. And I mean, almost killed him because that was his supply. And they hadn't seen each other in 10 years, and he just shows up in a frantic.
Oh God.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jamila, what did you have to say?
I had a question about flying monkeys.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I was listening, but then I don't know, I missed a part. So flying monkeys are they like flying word curses?
A flying monkey is a person who do their bidding, whatever that bidding is. It's not just flying word curses. I mean, if they tell them to hurt you, they tell them to spy on you, they going to do whatever that narcissist tell them to do. Because you got to remember, narcissists are spying spirits. When they leave you, they may be gone for 6 months, but they know everywhere you've been, everywhere you are. Because when they hoover you, they know how to come back in. Yeah.
This stuff is quite deep.
But see, I think what we need to emphasize more is when you meet the narcissist and you get the initial flag, you get the initial perception, you get the initial awkwardness. That's your greatest moment, because if you don't, it's a spirit of persuasion on them. See, people say, well, why didn't you just leave? Because a spirit of persuasion comes on you. The Bible said, now, for those of you who are Christians, you understand. The Bible said that Satan told Eve that this tree, he said, did God tell you not to eat of the tree? She said, God said, don't touch it, don't even eat. But he said, God does know. And once you eat of this tree, it's going to make you wise. The Bible said once he said that, she saw the tree to make one wise, and she desired the tree. So she said God told her not to touch it. She reached for the tree and she ate the tree. She ate from the tree. So what Satan does is change the image in your mind using the narcissist. And so when you're around the narcissist, she was mesmerized by that spirit. When you meet the narcissist, you're mesmerized by them. They seem so perfect. They seem like they're the perfect. Like, how did you get away from me all of those years? And you got this gnawing on the inside of you. So it sends confusion because your eyes like it, but your spirit is saying, run, run, run.
Right, because my son, he's seen the signs.
Right.
He said, Mom, I seen them red flags, but he didn't pay attention to them.
And see, when you don't pay attention to those red flags, that is when you get in trouble.
Right.
Because it's
But
almost like,
the word curses.
huh?
I can hear the word curses.
Oh, that ain't word curses from a flying monkey. That's word curses from a witch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's witchcraft. So you dealing with more than flying monkeys. You dealing with witchcraft. Some narcissists are witches and some of them are warlocks. And you can tell because they appear in people's sleep. They can see them in the corner, or they feel their spirit in the house, or they always appear in your dreams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, you're dealing with witchcraft. And this is what Pinky said. Pinky said, yes, I don't like the fact that I freeze up the majority of times. She said, when I see my ex, because he works close where I live, and it's hard for me to cope in the same environment. That has to be difficult. Mama JJ said, the ex-malignant narcissist found out where I'm living, so I have to have a new place to go soon. She's on the run. She's like a fugitive. If they find out, they're going to get her. Yeah, and they don't care.
Jesus.
They don't care. If they find out, they're going to get her. So she have to keep changing her name, changing her place, and she have to make sure she's not on social media. Sharima.
Hi, am I on?
Yes, you're on.
Okay, so that was me typing in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I'm Pinky. So,
Okay, hey Pinky.
yeah, so I mean it's oh goodness. I just got a therapist. I try to take you guys' advice about getting a therapist because I haven't had a therapist since last October to help me cope. And this therapist, I chose her because she had a lot of qualifications, like a lot of things that she deals with, and I've seen narcissistic personality disorder. Mm-hmm. So I questioned her a little bit, and she didn't seem to be that knowledgeable about it. And then when I was like giving her a lot of the information that I knew about the disorder from all of the videos and all the information that I get from you and Dr. Carmen, she, okay, I had 2 sessions already, so I think I'm gonna call it quits.
Yeah,
she was like, so what that he's a narcissist? You have to get on, she was like trying to give me like breathing techniques and stuff like that, but like in other words, like she kind of disregarded the information that I'm getting. I'm like, I don't know if it's because I didn't specify where I was getting it from, because I didn't feel that I needed to do that. But she doesn't seem to, I don't know, she doesn't seem, it's like, she was like, yeah, I know how they are, but she couldn't elaborate.
Right, definitely.
I don't think she's dealt with people that's actually had the abuse.
Absolutely.
She doesn't think that it's the abuse, I don't even think she's dealt, I looked at her profile again, and I seen that she dealt with, like, it said child trauma. So I'm like, that's not the same as an adult. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And what happened is she probably got a textbook knowledge but no experience.
I think she has a textbook knowledge.
Right.
I found her on Psychology Today, and she accepted my insurance, which I was so glad for that. But at the same time, I need someone that's actually going to be able to relate, to understand what I'm possibly going through.
Because you won't recover. She's not taking you to recover phases. She don't know recovery. If you don't know what they're going through, how you going to get me to recovery? You definitely need to just decease. You definitely need a therapist that's knowledgeable with what she's doing.
And I'm like, Dad, maybe I should try BetterHelp again, because I did try BetterHelp. Like they only email you, so I was asking about like how does the payments go, because it says that I think they take payments within 4 weeks, but I don't know if it's every single week. Like I'm trying to plan out my funds. I'm budgeted, so I'm like,
Apostle.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, can I tap in on this to help her?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. Hi, is it
Sharima?
Sharima, hi. I'm in the medical field, and I deal with insurance.
So just, I'm going to tell you this real quick. I don't know what type of insurance that you may have, but however, go under behavior health and then, or call that 1-800 number in the back of your insurance. And that way you can stay within your network. They will give you a list of counselors that you can call. And call them and check them out, and you'll find someone that you may like that you may be able to be in your network. That will be your. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Or if you like to, you can DM me or something, and I can help you with that because that's what I specialize in. Yeah, then that way. And then I don't know also what type of work you do, but sometimes they have like a care link or something where you can get 5 or 6 free sessions. Yes, like my job actually offers that. Okay, good. Yeah, I can help you with that. I think it's called EAP. Yeah, and I was given the information a few times. Of course, I was trying to, I was trying to deal with things on my own. And that's not always good because I thought I was good, and then it's like,
the backlash.
When I get because I've had like close encounters where this person is like almost in my personal space, like just passing by, like acting like that, like it's just like they appear everywhere. It slowed down a little bit, but it's like after that, it's like I started feeling panicky again, and I know that's what he wants.
Okay, but what you got to do, Sharima, you got to go do what she said. Go into the network of behavior health because you got to find a therapist that's effective because no matter what you do and see the backlash of non-recovery is just as worse as the actual trauma bonded relationship. So you got to get in there and get a healing. So use that behavior health that she was talking about. And this time, to really make inquiries, interrogate them to see what they know. Don't go with them if you don't feel comfortable with them.
Behavior health, is that like is that on the Psychology Today, or is that just typing in behavior health? What you need to do is whatever type of insurance you have, you can call that 1-800 number in the back of your insurance card and talk to customer service and tell them you need a list of doctors under behavior health that you need to connect with the counselor. And you call that number and they will help you because you want to stay within your network, and then that way you'll be within your insurance because you said, that way financially it can help you. So that's the first step you need to do. So just call that number tomorrow.
And Sharima, make sure you get those who specialize with narcissists.
Yes.
Make sure you get a narcissist specialist because a regular therapist, a trauma therapist would be good also, but a regular therapist is not going to aid you at all.
Yeah, I see that because the first therapist I had, she was like more like in social work. Like she dealt, not saying that they can't help with trauma and stuff, but I'm not going to say that I didn't get any help, but at that time, I didn't even know about narcissism. And
but why don't you try a life coach? You're with me and Dr. Bryant. The only thing is you have to cash pay because we don't take insurance because you're not in the same state.
Yeah, I'm in New York.
Right. So, but you may need to consider the life coaching part because, and especially Dr. Bryan, who is a trauma specialist, she can take it to another level. You probably need to consider the alternatives because even having one session a month with her that you can afford with a trauma specialist that's specialized is better than using your insurance till it run out and you don't get any help.
Right. And see, I wanted to, I really wanted to get the help with Dr. Carmen, but she suggested that I see a therapist.
Okay.
Like for a therapist first.
Okay.
Like
if she suggests,
emotional,
okay. If she
suggests,
okay. If she suggested that, then you probably dealing with some serious trauma bonding.
I can't believe how long it. I mean, 17 years at a job, not knowing. I'm like, why is it? We take the blame, and I think a lot of
Cognizant dissonance.
Yes, where we're always want to take the blame.
Yeah, but you shouldn't take the blame. You only take the blame for your responsibility. That is the patchwork. That's the brand of a narcissist. You've been branded. And what we got to do is
For
take
a
his.
long time with that,
We got to take you off. But what you need to do, Sharima, listen to me. You need to listen to what Trisha said. I want you to listen to her, and I want you to see if you can find a behavior. What is it, Trisha?
Behavior health.
Yeah, behavior health, and see if you can find a therapist. If you don't find a therapist, I want you to write me.
Okay.
I want you to write me, because on a forum like this, there's nothing we can do for you, because what it takes for you, this is not your forum, because you're too deep in. You need about a couple of hours to just sit and hour to vent, and then for us to go into the recovery zone. And this is not the place, because here is hit and run.
Oh wow.
Yeah. you know. But there is help and there is healing. So if Dr. Brian told you a therapist, I will go with what she said, because the girl, the one thing I know, she's good at what she does.
Counseling.
Yeah, she's good at what she do. Thank you, Christy.
God bless you, Sharina.
And thank you, Trisha. Hey, guys, my time is up here. I hope you all had a wonderful time. Those of you who are not following me, make sure that when you get off, you push my picture and follow me. And those of you who are on YouTube, go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every time I upload, then you will get notified, and you will always be notified when I do fresh uploads. But the one thing I want you to do is push that bell also. And then those of you write me, because GG77 is the reason why we are doing what we're doing tonight. She wrote me and asked me to do this. And if we do one of your suggestions, I will make sure that I call your name and let them know that it's because of you that we are doing this forum. And we will go with your suggestion. And you can do that at writing me, DestinyHepper12s at gmail.com. DestinyHepper12s at gmail.com. Those of you who are interested in learning about empath, I'm doing another empath conference, and then you can ask different questions about empath if you think that you're an empath. And then Destiny Hepper 12 as Helen Sattler, Destiny Hepper 12 as that's paypal.me / Destiny Helper 12 as you got to put the 12s with that. We're going to do a conference where I will be able to address many of the questions that you have, especially the empath, because empaths are being crushed, and many of a lot of them are institutionalized because they don't understand the nature of dealing with the narcissist. So I want to assist you. And so I want to thank all of you on my YouTube. Thank you, Trisha. You have been a blessing, and all of you all that have come on tonight. And Sharima, I'm waiting to hear from you, but I definitely want you to follow her advice, and let's see where we go, and let's see if we can help you. And maybe I can pull Trisha in some more and Dr. Brian some more until we get you what you need.
Oh, it was fun. Can I also emphasize that I am an empath?
Oh, okay. So you know what we need? You definitely need to be at the conference. I mean, I met my
I've been I can't wait till you do another one.
Okay, you were there. Awesome. It was awesome. Oh, yeah, that's how I got Danielle. Danielle now is my moderator. And to see how she has really grown in this year, Danielle, just flicker your mic at us. Just flicker your mic at us. Yeah, you see her at the bottom. She is awesome. And she's now my moderator. She's now my moderator. She's even been here to one of our conference in here in the great metropolis, and I just love her to life.
That's amazing.
Love you too, Mom.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Hey, everybody, I want to read a couple of more of these because we want to give a lot of attention to YouTube. Um, this is Nancy. She said, between Hillary and Donald, so enraged, and of course, narcissist. She said, they literally stole my identity and my house that I purchased after he gave himself a marital home. Wow. Okay. And Haka said, I'm finally getting over my ex-narc after almost 6 months. You know, 6 months is not a long time, Princess. You're going to find that it's going to take you a little bit longer than that because every 3 months require almost 2 years of detoxification. 3 months with a narcissist, almost 2 years is the average in detoxification. So that shows you how malignant that they can be. All right. I want to thank you so much. If you want to discuss this further, you have any questions, please leave your comments at the bottom on YouTube. And those of you who are on Clubhouse, you can feel free to write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. I am honored and privileged, as always, deeply humbled to have you here. Thank you so much for making it work. I love you, and I will see you on the next video. YouTube, hug and kisses to all of my YouTube family. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video. God bless.
Amen.